Hey guys, it's Sarah. I'm here today to do the Taylor Swift book tag. I know this is kind of an old tag now, but it looked really fun and I just have been wanting to do it since I started making videos, so it's happening. Yep, let's get this started. So first up is We Are Never Getting Back Together, and that is pick a book or series that you initially loved and then ended up disliking and wanted to break up with. And for that, I have kind of an unusual answer. I don't know if this quite counts, but I chose The Giver. Read that in 7th or 8th grade, and we had to do an assignment, like writing our own ending to the book. And I remember really loving that book until it got to the end, and it just didn't end. It like stopped, it cut off all of a sudden, and it was the worst thing ever that I had ever experienced, and it was awful. And I remember like really hating the book after that because I just didn't like the ending. And then years later, like last year when the movie came out, I found out that it was a series. Like I didn't know that the entire time. I feel like I missed out on like an important piece of my childhood, like a book series that I could have loved and didn't because I was unaware what I wanted was already a thing. Like all I wanted from that book was for there to be more, to like continue and to have the rest of the story. And it was there for me, but I never realized it. So that was my own fault. I guess I wouldn't break up with it if I had read the rest of it. Based on the first one and based on my like childhood experience, that is a book that I would break up with. Alright, next book is Red. Pick a book with red on the cover, and that is The Secret Garden. I got this edition from my grandma when I was like a little girl, and it's just a special edition. Really liked this book as a kid. Um, and yeah, it's really pretty. It's got these like burnout designs in it. I'm not a big fan of this illustration here, but other than that, it's a pretty book and reminds me of my grandma every single time I look at it. So it's a nice reminder. Yep. And then the next book is The Best Day, and that's choose a book that makes you nostalgic. I almost chose Harry Potter, but I felt like a lot of people were going to choose that, and I wanted to pick something different. I chose The Chronicles of Narnia, just because this holds a lot of memories with my mom, like reading us these books. My brother and I, she read us these books when I was younger. We both read them ourselves, and I've just, I don't know, I had a lot of connection, like, with this series, and I know it's kind of controversial because it's all like religion based, but as a child, I don't think I quite understood that. I more just like loved the story, and I think that's how I think of it now as well. I've never been one to like really analyze books. I don't know. I like reading things at face value from time to time. Like you don't always have to find something deep in everything or find like the author's meaning. Um, you can just take it for how it is. You can take it however you want it, and that's what I like about this series. I just like the story. The next book is Love Story. Pick a book with forbidden love. And yeah, I chose Celia and Marco from the Night Circus. Ugh, this whole book was like a dream. I read this last year and I just wanted to stay in this book and their like entire world she created. But yeah, this couple was plain old Romeo and Juliet. I mean, you couldn't get more forbidden, like two competitors that were supposed to beat each other, but they fell in love and it was wonderful. And yeah, that was a spoiler. If you haven't read this, sorry. I'll try to warn you next time. The next book was I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Um, and that is pick a book with a bad character who you couldn't help but love. I chose Warner from the Shatter Me series because, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the books or you haven't finished the series, probably don't watch this. This might be a spoiler for you, but he was a total dickhead at the beginning of that series. Like, he was awful. He was so bad. And then you find out, like, his motives and, like, his childhood and what he comes from. And it sort of gives, I mean, it doesn't explain, but it sort of makes him more human. And then I was, like, fell in love. I was rooting for him and Juliet. Adam went down pretty quickly. I was rooting for Juliet and Adam for the first book. And then that just, ugh, no, I don't know what happened. He just ended up being a kind of annoying and a jerk about things, and I was not into Adam. But Warren, yeah, supposedly bad guy. I mean, he was pretty bad. He was a bad person there for a while. The next book is Innocent, and that is pick a book that someone ruined the ending for you. And I actually kind of ruined the ending of this book myself. No one was really going to ruin it for me. I had good friends when it came to, like, not ruining books. But I just asked. I kept asking. I wanted to know what happened. Everyone was, like, talking about this. It was like this big series secret, and I just wanted to know. I didn't think I was going to get to the book. So I made my friends tell me, and that was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The ending, the big things that happen in this book, I had people tell me. Just because I had read, I think, 1 through 4, hadn't read 5 yet, and 6 came out, and everyone was talking about it, like I said, and I just wanted to know. I didn't end up reading 5 through 7 until a couple of years ago. So I think I ended up finishing the series before the movie came out, but it was much later than once the books were released. Clearly I was not, like, as big of a Harry Potter fan as other people, but I was just really busy and didn't have a lot of time to read. Reading took me a lot of time and focus, and I just didn't have that much extra time for personal reading in high school. Um, so yeah, that I fell behind on Harry Potter and didn't catch up until, like, college. That was that. Ruined that whole book for myself, unfortunately. The next book was Everything Has Changed, and that is pick a character who went through extensive character development. And I chose Juliet from the Shatter Me series because at the beginning she was like this sheltered, meek, totally, like, introverted. I mean, wouldn't talk, wouldn't, like lived in her own world and couldn't really form connections with anyone, and had really low self-esteem, which made sense. but yeah, so I really liked watching her, like, open up and form relationships with people, and, like, the strength that she was able to um, gain from kind of accepting herself and learning to control her powers and being able to be more self-confident and learning to, like, make her own choices and not letting anyone kind of tell her what to do or anything like that. I like that she grew up into, like, her own being, and she wasn't going to let anyone else or her own powers control her any longer. So I thought she went through a lot of growth, and I was really happy with that. The next book is You Belong to Me, and that is Pick Your Most Anticipated Book. And for me, that would be Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling, her new book that's coming out in September. I really like her. I like her writing. Loved her last book, and so I'm excited to kind of get this one and read it. Yeah, I'm excited. So I will be getting that right away, probably, when it comes out. Next one is Forever and Always, and that is Pick Your Favorite Book Couple. Oh gosh, okay, so I was gonna pick something that like wasn't as cliche, that wasn't gonna be like what everyone else chose, but then I couldn't come up with anything else. I couldn't come up with anything better than this, I guess. So anyways, I went with it. It's gonna be The Fault in Our Stars, Gus and Hazel. Well, I rewatched the movie last night and sobbed so hard. That last half an hour of the movie, oh my god. But yeah, no, their love is just so lovely. So lovely. Forever and always. Alright, the next one is Come Back, Be Here, and that is What Book Are You Least Likely to Lend Out? And I don't lend out my books to too many people. I usually lend them out to my parents, my brother, or one of my best friends, just because I know I'm going to get them back and I can keep my eye on them. But the one that I probably wouldn't lend out to anyone is this copy of Looking for Alaska. I do have another copy back there, the paperback, but I got this more recently, a couple months ago, and just probably wouldn't let anyone touch this book, to be honest. This is my favorite John Green book, maybe my favorite book, or at least one of my favorite books of all time, and I want this to stay here and to stay with me and to not get ruined. I know it's silly, I don't know. I just can't, guys. It's too pretty and I just want it to stay pretty. So, next book is Teardrops on My Guitar. Pick a book that made you cry. I cry very easily. I happy cry, I sad cry, I cry all the time, during all the things. It happens a lot. So this is not like the easiest thing to narrow down, but I did end up choosing The Book Thief because I cried for this entire book. Like, honest to God, like from beginning to end. I cried so much. So many tears. All the tears. Um, yeah. The next book is Shake It Off, Shake It Off. And that is a book that you loved, but everyone else hated. And I wouldn't say everyone hates this. I'd say a lot of people love this book as well. But it is kind of a controversial book and a polarizing book, and that is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I love this book, but I don't really mind if other people didn't like it. I know a lot of people didn't like this book, so whatever. Shake it off. Shake it off. The next one is Stay, Stay, Stay. And that is a book that you wanted to go on forever. For that, I chose Anna and the French Kiss, just because this was like a cute vacation read for me. Like I got into it and I was there and I just wanted it to keep going. And I just wanted to like go to Europe and watch them develop into like adults and have their lives be even cuter, and I just wanted it to keep going and never end. Ever. Never. And then the last question is All Too Well, and that is a book series that you wish could keep going. So kind of like the other one, but series-wise, right? And that is the If I Stay series by Gail Forman. Really love the second book more so than I love this first book, and I just wanted to keep checking back in with their relationship and like to kind of watch it grow and like watch them grow back together. And I wanted to like get to the point where they had a family and then they were like raising another little musical child. um so yeah, I wanted this to go on for another couple books. I would be okay with that. Gail Forman, if you want to write more in this series, I would read those. So yeah, Taylor Swift. Thanks for writing so many good songs. And authors, thanks for writing so many good books. Anyways, I'll see ya. Peace. Bye guys.